How did you decide to leave such a powerful job? I mean, you were heading towards the top at your bank, and you left that job to go serve people.
Um, well, it's funny because I'm not sure I was in such a powerful job. It's a little bit like you. I would have called it more the job of a lifetime. And that's how my mother and father saw it, and my boss at the bank felt that they were giving me the chance of a lifetime. And I think I intuitively understood that to be true. But I also knew that at age 25, I was making a really important choice. And that if I waited and took that job of a lifetime, I might never go to Africa, which was a real dream of mine. And so I figured maybe with some level of arrogance that maybe once in a lifetime jobs come along more than once in a lifetime. And what I've learned is that there is no such thing as a once in a lifetime job or opportunity. It's what you make of it. And frankly, you can make a once in a lifetime come every single day. And if we lived our lives so that every day was the lifetime, we'd make a very different set of decisions.
I love that. Let's talk a little bit about, for me, going to Africa, I think I was ahead of the curve because I went 2 years before it was popular. You went 20 years before it was popular. How did you pick Africa?
Well, in some ways, Africa picked me. I was traveling around the world, and with Chase, and I was in Brazil, and I fell in love with Brazil. I fell in love with the dancing and the music and the beauty, and so I actually went to the only organization that would take me overseas to explore the beginnings of microfinance, and said, send me to Brazil, and they said, we're sending you to Africa. And what I realized then, going back to that same once in a lifetime, was that my dream was more about changing the world and exploring financial systems for the poor than it was specifically about Africa. Once I made that choice, when I was then in conversation with my mom and with the COO of Chase, and he said to me, Africa? You're going to go and work with women in Africa? I was very defensive about, yes, I'm going. And that goes back to the other point.
Right. Cool. When you wake up in the morning, what excites you about going to work?
Well, everything excites me about going to work. Probably just like you, I saw it in the pictures, that what was so striking to me about your photographs, as I said, was you see beauty everywhere.
Even in the slums.
Even in the
Kibera,
slums.
yeah.
Even in the slums. I was with a professor from a long time ago, one of my old professors.
From UVA?
From Stanford Business School. And he was saying how do you stay so optimistic in this world where there's so much cynicism, where there's so much greed, and everyone's so divisive. And I said, well, the thing is, I actually had the luxury of building my reality. And so every day I get to go to work with my favorite people on the planet. I respect at the deepest level every one of them, not only for what they do, but for how they do it. I get to invest in companies that are really trying to change the whole system in a way that reaches the poor. I get to meet with low-income people and wealthy people and see that at the end of the day we're all the same. I get to see change in the world. And while there are things that make me sad, there's very little that doesn't make me excited.
That's awesome.